Welcome to the Purple Phoenix.
Challenge you! You are good, but prepare to fight! An excellent bout. You are still doomed.
Not happening.
so this is my build. Liking it so far. Able to do 187s pretty easily. It's not the fastest, I know, but it's pretty good. So a bunch of crit coming over here, of course, because we're stacking elements. Grabbing all these, grabbing that. And then, of course, you know, to get that extra 15%, or once they get down to 15%, it just kills them. Again, because we're stacking curse, we're using the trial belt, so this is pretty nice. This is really nice. The bestial frenzy, when you're right on top, you do an extra 4% for every enemy. So when mobs are packed up, you do a ton of extra damage. I really needed this life leech. I was having a hard time staying alive before I grabbed this. So now because I do enough damage, I can just stand there and face tank it, which is pretty nice. This is pretty good too. When I get a lot of rage, I may spec out of that, but for now it seems to be okay. And then of course, because I do stasis damage, an extra 25%, which is pretty nice. And then I swapped to this. I was running fortress points to get the block chance, and I was still getting one shot. So when I swapped over to this, I actually do enough damage, or I do a lot more damage, plus the global life leech, that I'm able to just literally stand there and tank it. So this is actually really nice. It only sucks because when you're full on points, you move really, really slow. That's the only bummer with it. I'm taking this just to get down to the elevated gain so that my mask does a ton. I'll show you my helmet here in a bit. It has a lot of resists. Of course, an element chance coming over here. This is still really good. The 60% crit damage. That's really nice. And then of course getting the health globe generation all the way up to this, where you get an extra 40% resist after you get a health globe. That's super, super nice. And then you can block with any weapon. I think I sit around like 40 or 50% block chance, which is enough. And then of course, like I mentioned again, I'm already doing stasis damage, so extra enemies, or extra damage, 100% plus this, an extra 120% damage after 1.5 second delay. Super nice. And this just kind of helps me from getting one shot. And then between all the damage I do and then the life leech, I'm able to heal right back up. So that's literally just to prevent me from getting one shot. Here's my gear. So like I said, that helmet, I mean, look at that thing, 766 resist. Man, that thing is really, really nice. And then of course, using Frost Weave and Trial, those are super OP. You should already know what that's about. I've pretty much converted to all heavy gear, just again for the resist. Really helps me be able to just stand there and face tank. And then I'm using rage and willpower cost reduction plus damage wherever I can. That's kind of my main focus on all of these, on the spalders and gauntlets. Just trying to get raw flat damage and the cost reduction. And then obviously resist where I can. This is pretty nice. I mean, look at this, 946 health plus 420% resist. I mean, you're basically getting it as many resists as a heavy, plus you're getting the extra health. So I really, really like this Spalder. Weapon could be better, but it's got 2 flat damage on it. Plus it rolled a really nice natural physical damage, 44 to 135, so that's pretty nice. Plus it's got crit damage and some more life leech, so it's okay for now. And then this one's pretty decent. Look at that, 3 flat spell damage plus life leech. I really like that. I actually need to roll one more thing onto it because it's only got 5 and it can have 6, so I'll get that here shortly. As far as what I went, I pretty much put everything into toughness. I think I put a few points into wisdom, just because when you put points into Wisdom and you have Frost Weave, all your freeze chance, which increasing Wisdom obviously increases your freeze chance, also becomes crit chance. So the nice thing about that is when you put a point into Wisdom, it's almost like you're getting a point in Wisdom and a point in Ferocity. So that's pretty nice. Crit chance still a little bit low. I need to get my Wisdom up actually a little bit, which will bump this up obviously as long as I'm wearing this chest. But for now, like I said, I kind of was having problems with not staying alive, so I focused really heavy on getting resist more than anything. I mean, you can see no buffs right now. I'm sitting at basically 80% resist. So, pretty nice. I really like having all the resist. It lets me face tank everything. Just group it up and face tank it. Alright, for the skill modifiers, this is pretty much every build for Anomaly should run this exact setup. I don't think there's any reason to modify those modifiers. Those are definitely the best. For this one, area of effect, of course this is what you absolutely need. So you can get all these health globes, which then get sucked in using Anomaly. So that's really nice. A little bit extra crit damage, and then of course leaving the poisonous cloud. That's pretty nice. Damage increases over time, creates the Nova, increased crit damage, area of effect becomes static. This of course you absolutely need. You can mess with the other stuff, but you gotta have that. Element chance, and reduces the initial cast time because I'm spamming all my skills. So being able to cast that a little faster is pretty nice for me. You can modify these slightly. I actually have natural burn, so like if you didn't have fire damage, I would convert this to probably fire damage, but because I already have it, there's no reason for me to do it. So I kind of just went like cooldown, crit chance, increased chance to inflict ailments. Changing this to damage over time, this is definitely what you need to do if you're doing this kind of build, because everything is damage over time. You're applying dots, so that's super helpful. Increase area of effect, crit damage, and cooldown. So Sovereign Shout, get some buffs, a little bit extra resist. I probably don't necessarily need this anymore. I could probably swap that to something else. You really need this though, the +6 health globe generation, so you can get more health globes, which then get sucked in using Anomaly, so that's really nice. I do like this, increasing the block chance. I actually think block is really nice in this game. Increased duration of the buffs, so that's good. Gives you a crit chance buff. So again, all these buffs that we're getting, and then obviously them lasting longer, that's pretty nice. And then increase the effectiveness of the buffs. That's pretty much what I'm using this for. Is it's not really doing damage. I'm just using it to buff myself up, getting more life leech. I have a lot of life leech, so between my resist and all the life leech, I can just stand there and face tank it. Bleeding edge, of course. Yeah, so speed, damage, crit damage, I should say, and then of course follows me as I move, and then more damage per ailment. I definitely, don't take this anymore because this puts a cooldown. I think the only other thing you could do is maybe this, but I have enough life leech. I mean, you can see I have tons of life leech in my build, so I don't need this, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So able to do 187s pretty easily, 6-7 minutes I think is typically what I'm able to run them. Every once in a while I'll go down, but that's usually because I get CC'd and I can't apply any damage. But as long as I'm able to actually move my character and cast spells, I can just face tank everything, and it's just a matter of killing everything. So yeah, hope you guys like